written Tasty, but there was a group meeting which was, let's have a guy who just shouts Tasty over and over. So mostly I filled out a spreadsheet full of lines with different configurations of things that use the word Tasty. So
that's fun.
Yeah. I don't know that I can take credit for him, but I do love Tasty.
So what about the Screaming Orc? Was that your idea?
No, I think the Screaming Orc is... I'm trying to think what the... I think that's Chris Hoagie who had an idea. It's like, let's have a guy who just screams. I think he's come up on this before. I don't know that he's been on.
Chris has not been on. For you guys to know, Chris is basically the writer of the Nemesis system.
Yeah, he's the lead designer and the Nemesis system, and comes up with great ideas like, let's have a guy who screams, let's have a guy who just shouts his own name, let's have a guy called the Lookout who just shouts the word look out, or the two words look out, rather, over and over.
You can push them together, so hyphenate it.
Yeah.
It works.
So yeah, it's a lot of collaboration, a lot of working together.
That's cool. Well, guys, do you have more questions for Rich? I mean, the literate one, was that your?
The literate one?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who the literate one is. There are so many that I do sometimes forget them. I don't honestly remember writing specific lines for the literate one, so he may not be me if he is a guy who's in the game.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I did. I also wrote an Olog called The Boar, who just goes on and on about bits of Middle-earth history and is extremely boring.
The Boar, B-O-R-E.
Yeah.
Not B-O-A-R, is what I.
And it tries to relate whatever situation you're in to some obscure piece of something that happened long ago in Middle-earth.
Did you know?
That was that was an interesting writing challenge in that I was like, I want to write a guy and deliberately make him super boring. So out went any thought of, make him entertaining, make him compelling. He will bore you.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, here we've got a couple ones. Ultimate Snorlax. What is the funniest insult you've heard from an orc?
Funniest insult I've heard from an orc. Wow.
I'm really curious if this guy turns out to be the community nemesis. Like, he's killed so many.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to think of what that would be. I feel like most of the funny stuff that I overhear from the orcs is more just ambient chatter that they have amongst each other.
Right.
So there was an orc who I think was putting down another orc.
Like emotionally or physically?
No. Well, maybe that happened at some point, but...
Give it a little more.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I got excited about it.
You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you so much. It's sonorous.
Very.
Yeah, we did have... There's an orc who makes the proclamation that some orcs say that they can tame beasts, but me, I am a beast. And the other orc that he's talking to just says, well, doesn't that mean that they can tame you? So I feel like the orcs, when they want to be, can actually unpack statements and be fairly clever about what's going on once they get sort of philosophical.
That reminds me of the one where it's just like, a guy was like, I heard it's more important to leave the arrows in when you're shot and then take them out later in a safe point. And one of the guys was like, oh yeah, I do that. I love the way it tickles when I take it out. And the other orc goes, don't talk to me again. I love that line.
I wish I could take credit for that, but I don't think that's me. But we are blessed, I will say.
Continue.
We have an amazing.
Is Tony's wife who died, and she wants to play, so that would be a nice book that we have to play. So we'll make sure she gets that.
Continue. I think, honestly, I feel like this should just be our challenge for the day now.
Yeah, we have a really, it's a really amazing group of people who work on the Nemesis system, everybody who works on the game, the writing team, the guys I work with are amazing, but I mean, the actors that we work with who bring these orcs to life are just absolutely outstanding. I mean, there's so many lines that what they're able to do with even stuff that we write as straight lines, as setups, is just so charming and funny that we're just incredibly blessed to have such a great cast in this game. I'm really happy with how it came out.
It's a joy, and like to have it, have this opportunity now to talk about it. And
yeah.
Just as a reminder to you guys, if you want to see one of those guys responding to chat, our San Diego Comic-Con, we had David DePaul. He's the individual who voiced Aslar, voiced one of our or a good group of our orcs and Ologs. So.
Darren has maybe the most amazing voice I've ever heard. I mean, it's just astounding what comes out of that guy. And when you see him in person, and then you think of Aslar the Demolisher, it's just like, these things do not, I don't know how.
He is so nice.
It's just absolutely amazing.
I saw a question which was, who wrote Bruz?
That was a group effort. I wrote probably a pretty good chunk of the Bruz stuff that's been seen so far, but the whole writing team contributed, and there's some more Bruz you will see in the game that is written by a couple of the other writers, so it's, again, it's all pretty much a big collaboration.
Always team, I gotcha.
Yeah. I will say there was a fair bit of writing on Bruz where I would come up with, nice,
saved.
I love Pain Lover. I would come up with dialogue for Bruz and then pretty much have to run it by Tony and DePlatter.
Right.
They're just like, does this slang sound okay? Does this sound like something that maybe an Australian would say or not? Part of me was thinking like, Tony, shouldn't you be just writing all this stuff? But they were a good check on my work.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was an amazing opportunity for the orc to save him just there. I was gonna have to give Chad another point. Like right now we might tie, but
who wrote Blackblade? So Blackblade, I actually am not sure, because Blackblade was in Shadow of Mordor, and Shadow of Mordor was actually just before my time. I started right after it shipped. So when I came on and the Nemesis system tweaked and a lot of new hooks and events got added to the system, I did do some additional writing for Blackblade, but I played the first game as a player, and Blackblade was one of my favorite characters, so yeah, I was pretty excited to work on him, but I cannot take credit for the concept or the original characterization.
So, there you go, guys. I just, also as a heads up, I just updated the score because chat, you won again. He went after the sword and he failed again. That's we need a monolith player to do it.
Oh, Hoagie won. I can actually take credit for Dwarf Hater. I wrote Dwarf Hater.
I really was hoping that was actually Hoagie.
It could be.
It could totally be. Let's see. So just for you guys, we're answering specific questions for Rich because he wrote so much wonderful stuff. Here's a fun one from Lord Zulicht. Is there an orc that breaks the fourth wall?
You know, we talked about that. We talked about the idea of putting that in, and I don't believe anything ever went in that does break the fourth wall.
I haven't heard
I think
one
the
yet.
answer is no. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head.
Not that clever yet. Maybe one day. Let me shout something real quick. I believe you died, so your turn is up, good friend. Chat got another point, so it's up to another player to try.
Oh, Red Phantom 5 is asking who wrote the Glutton. I also wrote the Glutton, so I can answer these kinds of easy questions. Gears of Doors says, how often do orcs change titles? So that is almost purely dependent on player action. So if you do something like shame an orc, he can change his name to the Shamed, or he can even become the Unashamed. He can try to turn it on you. The system basically allows for orcs to take whatever you do to them and be haunted and tortured by it, or in some cases maybe embrace it and turn that into their identity.
Well, come in between us real quick.
So the more horrible things you do to an orc, the more title changes you get.
So
the sword broke its way.
Right. So just for a moment, so it's Alexandra, right?
Yeah, right.
So Alexandra is our next contestant who will be going up, and actually, we will have her reclaim the sword because that seems to be the request. And honestly, chat, like that guy's killed us 3 times now, and that's all your points, the sword breaker. So we need to take that guy out. So anyway, lovelies, do you have anything to say? Because you're gonna have to take out a really tough guy who's killed everyone else.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah. But what do you think? Do you think you're gonna do it?
I'm not a good player, but I'm gonna try. Yay!
Believe in you.
Good luck.
Really
you.
awesome. I wish you the best. Do you have anything you want to say to taunt them at all?
To all the people,
Yeah, it's a chat, because they're the one who set up this challenge.
everyone, buy this game is the best game ever. Woo!
She's correct.
That's a very nice challenge. All right, I wish you luck.
Thank you.
All right. So,
All right. I lost the name, but somebody asked if I wrote Celebrimbor, so he has to follow up on the comment before. The entire writing team worked on the entire script, so there's some of us everywhere. Hoagie1 says, tell Rich he's awesome. I'm starting to wonder about this Hoagie1 person. And who's this Rich guy?
this beautiful
Oh, right,
face.
right. Who wrote Celebrimbor's lines from Tyrannosaurus Rex 16? So yeah, all of us.
There you go. There's a question. Void Dragon, who's doing anime shout-outs. Very nice. I believe that was, shoot, what is that movie? The person, if you don't believe in yourself, believe in me who believes in you. It's from...
Oh God, I'm drawing a blank on that.
Yeah, it's the one where everyone's underground with the drills. Oh, man. Everybody has cool glasses.
I don't know.
Gurren Lagann, thank you. Thank you for that one. Gurren Lagann, I appreciate
that.
everybody.
Chat to the rescue.
Chat's amazing. Thank you, chat. You guys have been winning, too.
Dark Hatchet 500 says, did you write the Giggles personality? So again, I think I probably did do some writing for that, but it was mostly writing like Giggles psychotically in brackets, and then the actor pretty much makes that their own.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So one of the things, chat will, for a lot of the questions, will ask you specifically all the way through. Did you do this one? Did you do this one?
Right.
So you feel free to answer the ones you want to answer.
I'm trying to pick them out. There's
Yeah.
been a few.
Like, there's Mad and Crazy, there's the Blue, like the Twins. They're just going through every class.
Well, I do see Antechamber 42 is saying, was there any difficulty in developing Karnan's line? So Karnan
Yeah.
is completely a product of Mr. Tony Elias, who did an amazing job on that character.
Yeah, it's cool.
So yeah, we did a lot of kind of brainstorming around the story and the character, but when it came to actually creating that character in terms of the written dialogue, he created all of that and just did an incredible job on it.
That's, honestly, I gotta mention to him how that Granick, if chat wins, will we get the game released earlier?
How many days do we have at this point? I mean,
It's we are 5 days out.
Yeah.
5 days right now. Not 4 days for those of you who are digital, I believe. And then if you guys order from Amazon, sometimes they send it out a little early.
oh yeah, that can happen.
So sometimes that happens. Let's see. So I think we had this question about what was your favorite character or personality who was in the game. Can you guys hear us right now? I'm realizing that we're starting to get extra loud.
It's very loud in this room.
Yeah, I think I gotta tell 2 monolith people. Guys. Hey, Eric.
Seeing someone asked how long to write all the orcs. That was totally insane.
That was a little loud.
Sorry, I didn't see the name, but somebody asked how long to write all the orcs. I mean, I started in 2015 and just started writing furiously, and now it's 2017, and I've just
Is it drunk?
sort of put my pen down. So, yeah, the writing goes on and on and on and on. There are a lot of lines of dialogue in this game.
It's pretty. I was gonna say bombastic.
How long did it take? I mean, I don't know, three years, however long we've been in development.
Indeed. Also, this is the drunk right now.
Yeah.
So your lines are on screen.
Nice. Sled Jub asks, what's the hardest part about being a writer?
Chat. You guys are getting so many points.
What's the hardest part about being a writer for the script? And I saw a question right above that of someone asking something like, how do you write the cruel lines? So I will say there were a few orcs that I wrote who were so horribly sadistic and disgusting that I would write the script for them and then literally go online and Google like funny puppy videos because I was so revolted with what I had just done that I just needed something to cheer me up. So that was a very interesting challenge, writing orcs who are such awful, awful creatures in many ways that I would really take myself to a dark place, and then I'd need to kind of back out of it. So, yeah, a lot of funny puppy and cat videos after I would write scripts.
I like it.
Yeah.
Before we continue on, let me bring in our next contestant, who's going to try to get that sword again. BJ, come on in. This is BJ.
How's it going, y'all?
Now, so chat has been the one delivering these challenges, and honestly, at this point, we've just set the challenge of just beat the last guy's challenge. Chat has won 4 times, i.e., we've died to this guy 4 times tonight. But we have killed 1. Community we have 1 point. So if you could bring us to 2, that would be amazing.
Yeah, let's try it.
Do you have anything you want to say to chat?
No, what's going on, y'all? Tuesday, right?
It's Tuesday next week, yeah? Monday for some people.
Coming for me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll definitely have it pre-ordered already.
We believe in you from I wish I was dead. Nice, I appreciate the positivity. You can do it from Toadzilla. All right, man.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Good luck.
All right, guys.
All right. The sword must be claimed from Skeleton Wars. You guys,
Tyrannus
this
Rex.
guy. There we go. It's just that guy again.
Only a little bit ominous having you leaning over my shoulder.
Oh man, it's I'm pretty used to this. If you guys can hear it, Mike is now growling. So for Demir8472, I've actually mentioned that earlier. I don't know for when Steam preload. You know, Mike.
Follow a Nemesis transfer from Shadow Mordor to Shadow of War.
Also preload on Steam. Is that something you know about?
What detail of that?
When?
Oh,
I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good
Well,
question.
we don't know either.
But how do I feel about losing to the wall? I was robbed. It was a bug. The lava. It was. People have been fired, and it's been fixed.
People have been fired.
No, and where was I? Oh yeah, the transfer. So they do actually. This is a bit of a reveal. I don't want to give too many spoilers. They do actually come back in a pretty key story moment. So it's not just randomly. There's a key dramatic moment where you're going to get to meet that guy again. But then, of course, once he returns, he'll be back in the Nemesis system.
That might be Hoagie.
Yep.
That's a very Hoagie.
Oh, it is
answer.
Hoagie. Yes, thank you, Hoagie. You rock. I miss you so much.
The real Hoagie.
Yes.
It's we're pretty confident that Hoagie 1 is actually the writer of the Nemesis system. We're not 100% sure, but he made a comment that is very internal information.
Which one? Oh yeah.
Yeah. You would have to know some game design, so it's possible it's another Hoagie who knows game design. That's pretty funny. We're on to you. We're on. Or we're not.
Well,
All right. So Earl Esther the Glutton has gone up 4 levels for the 4 deaths. Hi, Mike.
do I get to play later? Do I get to kill something?
If this guy doesn't kill him, you should totally get in line to take out the Glutton because he's killed everyone who's tried.
Oh really?
Yeah. Get in line, man. We would love to see it.
Wait a minute. How do I read that? Oh, is that Camaro, bro? 92?
Camaro, I think.
Okay.
Like that.
What was the inspiration for the drunk? Wow. I mean,
The being.
yeah. I don't know. I would say working in game development drove me to be inspired to write the drunk. Sled Jub Jub says, what was the most exciting part of working on this project? Actually, it'd be very difficult to answer that question because almost everything about working on this game has been totally amazing. I know that sounds like a pat answer, but it's pretty awesome. It's a pretty fun job.
So, a little bit of community discussion real quick. Right now, strategically, we have the warlord who's involved in this fight who might be helping us. We also have someone who's slowly floating on the screen. This gentleman is actually one of our artists on Shadow of War. Now, Steve, what exactly is the name of your other arts that you've drawn?
Well, I do UI, so is that what you're asking?
That as well as because people worn your shirt and gone, oh my god, it's Steve.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, one bluebird. Yeah.
One bluebird. Google it. This is the creator. So, drawing in UI and that kind of thing. It's also, he is becoming OP. So we have a guy, the Gorger, has repeatedly killed off every player who's gone after him today.
Should I go do it?
Well, Mike wants to get in line. You can get in line too. I mean, I feel like a Monolith employee might be like we played enough that we should be able to take him out. But he's been tough. I mean, other grunts have like gotten the final kill, but it still counts as Gorger level on up. So chat has 4 points. Community only has 1. They've been sending us on challenges, and the community unfortunately has not been able to keep up with chat's challenges.
Oh, awesome.
Main reason, we're on Nemesis difficulty.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we have a lot of beginners on Nemesis difficulty.
Look at Hoagie's asked me how many times I've played. What kind of questions are these, Hoagie 1?
We think Hoagie 1's the actual
It
Hoagie.
has to be at this point.
We're pretty sure it's the actual Hoagie.
I can't believe I answered those questions. I take it all back.
How many times
Done
have you
in
played
good faith.
Borderlands? Stay on topic, Hoagie. You work for us.
Achievement unlocked.
Squish him in. Squish him in.
You can push me out too. I can jump off the
Or
stream.
leave when you want.
We don't have room.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll probably get up and get
How many beards can we get in here?
The more beards, the better. Monolith of beard. Steppenwolf, if someone comes who can play, you won't get any more points. You don't want that. You want to win. Laser Volcano really wants to know if you wrote the Mad and Crazy.
So the Mad was in Shadow of Mordor. So again, I started after Shadow of Mordor shipped. So I did write additional lines for him so that he could do all the things that are in Shadow of War. So partially, I did. And it did drive me a little nutty.
Doesn't count. I'm making an official ruling. Doesn't count.
Ian Lover,
official
he
ruling,
loves it.
no points. Savior did it. Savior did it. Savior did it. You didn't kill him, your follower did. New challenge. You didn't die, we give you that, but Savior... I'm on your guys' side. The sword is reclaimed, but Savior did it. I don't count any points for either side. I am the arbiter. So, we need a new challenge. All right, guys? Let's take a moment again. Jared with the cruelty. I had a lot of people say boo just a second ago. So, let's see. Questions here. No, I'm trying to think of what classes should we go for again. Let's bring up the army screen so we can look at it. BJ, go ahead and bring up the army screen again. Bring up the army screen again so we can choose someone else for you to kill.
Kill the drunk. Oh, come on.
Yeah. You're still
Well, I guess
welcome.
we probably should.
But like I said, it was your savior.
Oh, you're a harsh judge, Ronaldo.
Brutus 456 at 2 Brutus. That would be 60. Blind Captain, no info. Interesting addition, but then we don't know. But then we don't know if it's hard for him. But I like it. That's the challenge. We have a challenge for you. A captain you don't know anything about, no information. So just choose one of the empty ones. That's just a silhouette and go after that. So this one's a bit of a gamble for you guys though, because you don't know what difficulty we're gonna get. One of the orcs just went up to him and said, "Please kill Talion for me." Nash the Drunk? Actually, we have a second. Or Nash the Drunk. Go after the drunk. Yeah, that one's also allowed. I'm gonna ask them. Choose one for now, but I'm gonna check with them. All right, we're gonna check with you guys, okay? It's a new vote. You guys will vote on whether or not we're gonna go after drunk or unknown. All right? Drunk or unknown? Exclamation point, vote drunk, or exclamation point, vote unknown.
But please don't vote drunk. I mean, vote for the drunk. But, well, you know what I mean.
For you who just vote duck, that was funny. Vote duck. Chat is now voting on what one you will do. So choose one and go after something, but they will decide. I'm seeing a lot of drunks popping up. However, unknown is at 57.9%. Drunk is at 42. Vote alcoholic. We don't have that one. He's a grog lover.
I did see a question on there about Iron Will and whether there's a workaround for it. Have we talked about
So
Iron Will?
The thing is there's an ability that is somewhat related to things we don't talk about until people have gotten a couple weeks in.
Okay.
So, not yet.
Okay.
The answer is maybe, with a lot of winks,
All right.
but won't talk about the intricacies.
Okay. But it is a very interesting topic.
Yes, it is. Do you play on Nemesis difficulty? Asks
Yes,
Hoagie.
I do. In fact, I've played through the game a few times now. I'm almost done with my
Unknown.
third
Go for
playthrough.
unknown.
And each time
Yeah,
I
complete
say, I
no.
should try normal and see
No.
what that's like. But I
That's
never
probably
do.
the
I
best
actually
chance we
enjoy it
have.
on Nemesis.
All right, unknown is what won, guys. Unknown is at 55.9%. Close and pull. So, are hooded cloaks only set to one tribe, or can we get them from all tribes? Wolf Ninja. I know it's more than one tribe, but I'm not exactly sure.
I couldn't speak to that.
Yeah, and there's also
There are hoods.
There are hoods, yeah, and it's not just tribal gear that has hoods. Sorrow's Hero. Is there a tribe that get a higher boost over another, like rock beats scissors, but paper beats rock? So tribes don't work quite that way. The individual traits of the orcs do have things like that. Mortified of fire, fire weapon. There's your rock beating scissors. But in the case of like feral tribe going up against someone from the dark, it's not intrinsic unless, let's say, the dark guy is scared of beasts, and feral's more likely to have a beast relation thing. So that kind of environment. Can you dominate your nemesis from Shadow of Mordor? Roy Martin 123. Not gonna answer that. You guys have 4 days or 5, depending on where you are in the world. You'll see.
Yes. You will see.
Riley 8552. I did try to go to get a drink earlier when the orcs were hanging out. That's why I was gone. I went up to the bar. Rich was actually getting a drink at the time. But they don't have Guinness. So,
They don't.
No.
But they do have some pretty good stuff.
They do. Mexican Fonzie. No elemental categories. But they do change hair color and stuff depending on where they are.
Rabid Brain says, can a feral be afraid of beasts? They can. These orcs are complex individuals. That can happen.
Oh man, I love it when they're like beating their fear. It's like he has a fire weapon, but he's terrified of fire. Like,
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
He's just riding that line, man.
Right in it. So, that one username 27, can a captain become maggot or scarred? Now let's answer that a little bit more deeply. If a captain is killed by something, can they come back to life as something new? Yeah. So
Yes.
you can see these kind of things kind of happen. So just as a reminder, Dark Hatchet 500, we're talking only about the base tribes. We will consistently, until I choose or not me, until I'm told, I will be the one to do an announcement about that, or it'll come out in a paper or something, but it won't be just like suddenly I'll tell you from a question. I'll have to be told from somewhere else about it. Mr. Bubble 69, what is my favorite beer? Grog was on there. Grog is at beer. Guinness though. Guinness for sure. Can Urix break your sword or only Ologs? Only Ologs, I believe, right?
I have only seen Ologs do that. I believe it is Ologs who are sword breakers.
All right.
And when that happens, I make it a point to hunt that guy down and get my sword back.
Oh, indeed. So I'm watching right now our guy play, and I'm really curious if he's going to put another point on for the community. I hope so. Oh, Radical Dude, what's your signature drink, Jared? Just as a reminder to people watching on YouTube and on Xbox and on other Mixer channels as well, that we're playing on Twitch right now, so if you want to chat with us, we're reading the Twitch chat at the moment. And if you want to see us, come to Monolith Live, and we'll be able to see you. So, in this regard...
sorry.
Please.
I was going to say, here's a good one. Boop says, does everyone start with the same orcs, or are they randomly generated each new game? Yeah, they're randomly generated each new game and for each player. So it is extremely unlikely that two players will get the same hierarchies.
I believe the term will be procedurally generated specifically.
Yeah, I don't even know what the math on that would be, but
Right.
it's very unlikely.
So Grey Nick, I don't know the answer to that one for the Nemesis Forge, actually. So for most questions related to Nemesis Forge, I won't actually have a straight answer for you because it will give, one, some element to how it works in Shadow of War, and two, I don't exactly know specifically because I haven't sent over 1 million guys kind of thing.
Sled Jub Jub said, in your opinion, what is the hardest orc to fight against? I mean, I think that for me that would come down to the traits that the orc has, because again, the orcs are procedural. So anytime I'm fighting a guy who's immune to frost, that's kind of one of my go-to attacks. So I have trouble with that. And any guy who can heal himself is persona non grata.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a big fan of dealing with that trait. I usually get by, but those guys are very challenging.
All right. Let's see, are Bruz and Zog exceptions to the random generation? Yes. Those two guys are actually story related specifically, and there are some orcs that are story related in that way.
Yes, the cool thing about one of the many cool things about Shadow of War is that we have story orcs who appear in the mainline story who can also end up in the sandbox, and we also have orcs you'll encounter in the sandbox who, because of your interactions with them, become important and will then make their way into story moments. So there's a lot of crossover between the two.
Just bringing this up again, Chimera Craft, I think is the name. As far as like how do things transfer from Nemesis Forge, we're saving that for you guys to experience. So just for the record, Nemesis Forge questions, we really don't have an answer for you because it's either we can't give it or we won't. To be put it very simple. So just so you guys are understand.
Exogenesis 09, that's sort of an answer, hasn't it?
Maybe.
Sorry, that's the worst.
I have a person behind me.
Not a good. I asked a question about a question in a very obfuscating way.
No worries.
My first time on the stream.
All right. Let's see. Demir is asking, is Brutalized still in the game? Yes. Just as a reminder, Bruz is in everybody's game. That is true, as well as the Zog character. This is a demo. The final version of the game looks different and has more things fixed. In fact, for example, that bug that Mike DePlatter talks about when he couldn't throw the guy in the lava, that one is fixed. So he could have thrown the guy in the lava. Where are the counter props? They're there. Go like this. Sushi Pirate is asking for an interview. Can I voice act for the next game or DLC?
I don't think I could really give you a hard yes or no on that. I mean, if you're a voice actor, I suppose you could always audition for projects, but yeah, it would be pretty tough to compete with the people that we've got. They are pretty good.
Hold on, I have an addition to add to our score.
Zero Jin Kui, thank you for your suggestion to have DePlatter throw the guy in the lava.
I'm adding scores to Arsaku, or Arsaku is his name, because he has so far killed 3 of the orcs that were going to kill all the other people. So I am giving to our savior of the game 3 points. That guy is MVP. Let's see, we have a question. What made you get into video game writing? It's an interesting question.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's a very long story, but like most people in video game writing, I came into it through other paths. Basically, I went to school for screenwriting. I used to work in television, and then after several years in TV, I decided that I wanted to do something different, and I love games, so I started applying for game jobs, and here I am.
Anybody else in line?
Okay, well, thank you for asking.
All right, guys. So, being that I'm the one with the stream, after we see if our current contestant is able to win, we will then shut off the stream. So, you guys have won. In first place, we have Chad. Arsaku is in second, who's a computer, might I add. Community is then Oh yeah, we gave him 3 points.
Amazing.
So, let's see. Just as a reminder, only talking about base game, not DLC stuff. So, just as a heads up. Are there only hoods or are there different headgears? Applex Lines. Actually, we can clarify that a bit. Headgear isn't a specific gear set. You have armor, cloak, and then various other weapons, and a rune for the ring. So, some cloaks have headgear, so it comes with it. Not like you put on a helmet. There are no bow and dagger breakers. No, it seems like you guys just want everything broken, don't you?
Well, breaking stuff is fun.
It can definitely.
Getting revenge for broken stuff, also fun.
Oh yeah, I think it would be pretty funny. A ring breaker sounds like a really cool role, actually. Ring breaker. It's like cursed, so you can't use the ring when. Oh, that's fun.
I think one of the Ologs, speaking of Ologs insulting you, does mock you for going, if you come after him after he's broken your sword.
Yeah.
He basically accuses you of like, so we're doing what now? You're getting revenge for a sword?
I like it.
They are not without a sense of humor and maybe irony. Some of these questions are really fascinating, but impossible to answer.
Church6633, I'm glad you like my ring breaker idea. I want Bruz to break my pants. I mean, you can.
Game 3.
I love
Blood Brothers fight each other. It would be interesting to see whether Blood Brothers would fight each other and what their reaction to that might be.
They get kind of upset. My first ever orc that betrayed me was because I did that. That was the first one to ever leave my side. He was my bodyguard. I was having trouble, and I summoned him in, and immediately he stopped and did the realization, and he was just like, "Why would you try to have me kill my blood brother, Gravewalker? I can't do this." And he turned on me.
Yeah.
And he became my nemesis for a while because he just kept getting stronger and coming back.
They don't like it when you force them to kill their blood brother. They'll do it, but then they're very upset about it.
Right. It's a tough one. Kill Will 72. Nemesis difficulty is setting in the game or mode. It's a difficulty setting, so you can pop back and forth.
And Bruz's voice skill center on it seems like it should be able to, or maybe lull him to sleep. But he does have an amazing voice.
It's a wonderful one. So right now we only have orcs being dominated. I'm seeing questions about elves or other humans being dominated. You have followers who are of different races that can help you, but they are of their own choosing, kind of thing.
Oh, WB Basti says, hope you're having a great time in New York City. We are having a great time in New York City.
WB Basti.
Thank you, Basti.
It's our Basti.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I hope. Maybe it's another Hoagie impersonator.
Oh, it's Basti.
It's hard to tell.
I know that one because I modded him.
Thank you, Basti.
One of the achievements you get is getting an orc to kill his blood brother. Wow, that's so sad and funny. Like, honestly. Guys, look at all the arrows in that dude. He's filled. Thank you for making Bruz permanent. Oh. Let's see. Mahalaruki, you're welcome. Alright, Mr. Bubbles, I keep seeing you ask who's the lightweight of our community. Are you referring to within Monolith who gets drunk the fastest? Is that your question? I don't know.
I don't think it's either of the guys that are on right now.
I'm not a big drinker, so it might be me.
Oh, maybe.
Demir, I actually, Brutalize is still in the game, and I called you out earlier, good friend. I can prove it. I'm on tape. So, Die Throw, there isn't an orc that willingly joins you without domination. That just isn't a thing.
Oh my gosh, Abby Cat says, hi, Daddy. That is actually my daughter on the stream right now. Hello!
Hi, Rich's daughter. Hi, Abby Cat. That's so cool.
That is totally amazing.
Oh, that's fun. Hey, man, technology.
Good to see you here on Twitch.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, man. I'm glad that you showed up just in time because this guy is potentially going to win. He's pretty close, but he's at 0 health with no saves. And if Arsaku saves him, if Arsaku
he might
does
have
it,
out of line of sight though.
if Arsaku does it, it doesn't count. Arsaku then
Defender.
chat with 5 points.
And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Just a roll of the dice. Simple, uncaring.
Chat with 5 points. Everybody F for respect. Oh man.